Let's go. Underground World News Live. Good evening. Here on this May Day, May 1st, 2026. And thank you, Nick. Thank you, Kenzo, Skeeby, Quantum, everybody for the super chats right at the gate. Appreciate it to the fullest. On that note, get the mic check in. MC Dirty in the house, Lisa, BT, Pixie. Thank you for the quick feedback and for sharing the stream, Kenny, as always, as well as D. White. Much love, guys. Hope all is well. Everybody over on Rumble should be live on Facebook tonight as well. Trying that out. And it's still connected to D Live somehow, some way. So it's broadcasting into the abyss, wherever D Live is. If anybody's getting any alerts from D Live, still let me know. That'd be interesting. As long as those alerts are still going out, I would say that something's going on. Pure Bloods, much love. Yep, just about time for the last stand, huh? Yeah, well, I'm trying to keep a couple options out there for streaming platforms. Of course, we're here on YouTube. It's where I'm watching the main chat. We got Rumble as a backup, and the bot kind of kicks the comments over to my chat so I can see them there too. I don't know what's going on with Facebook, how that's going to work. I know there's like no comments ever on X when I go live over there. That would be the last place, or the next place I would try would be X. But for right now, we're sticking with this little get up and we'll see how it goes. Judge Britt in the house. Good to see you. Everybody out there, again, I'm going to thank the folks that share the stream, all of you that support the channel, all the donations, appreciated to the fullest, all the prayers, appreciated to the fullest. And there's more power in prayer than you realize, I'm telling you. All praise to the Most High here tonight, getting this thing going. We're going to start off with a site that I seen. And you know what? I'm just going to go ahead and try to drop this in the chat. It's ews.kylemcdonald.net. And Kyle McDonald went and made us a site here. Anyone can visit and check out. And he's keeping track of early warning signs in terms of the apocalypse. So he's got a number of factors here that tie into this. I think it's pretty interesting. I mean, given the information and the data, and where he's going with it, I guess it's just a wait and see type of thing. But I would say in a crazy situation where people could fly, I'm having a hard time wondering, though, if you're going to see, just because things are getting kind of crazy, if you're going to see, personal jets specifically, and a huge influx in them. Be honest with you, if I was flying to my final destination, like location, my bunker, I wouldn't have transponders on. No one is going to be knowing where I'm landing so they can pinpoint where the freaking bunker is. But I guarantee you, there's people out there that will do just that, not even thinking twice about it. And may even have their bunker right there where the airstrip's at. That makes sense, especially for Cessna, smaller planes. I mean, that's a legitimate, thought out way to go. It to have out in the middle of Montana, out in the middle of nowhere, maybe a piece of property, got something set up, all off grid, get a little airstrip, you can fly in if you need to. There's not even a road to get in and out, or something crazy. I don't know. But you have to have a lot of money and resources and put the time in to make that happen. I guarantee you no one out there listening has that. So the reality is, I'm trying to think what's going to cause the rich to get into their planes and take off to a certain destination. Now, if the worst case scenario happens here in terms of major cards that can be played, worst with the immediate implications for everyone would be like an EMP. No one flying during an EMP, and this whole thing would be useless. Gray Wolf, thank you for the super chat. So I'm just trying to put some common sense to some of these things. So EMP, this will all be useless. Cyber attack, where a lot of people are not going to be able to get online and even see any of this or anything like that. Maybe if the banks, maybe if they drop another deadly something and trying to lock us down and people start to scurry, then we'll see something. Or potential attacks and I don't know. It would have to be like 9/11 type events, like Project Blackjack or something. Nukes, mini nukes going off in multiple cities or something. I don't know. It's something to watch. I'm just not sure this is going to give you the signals that you're looking for in terms of chaos. We got chaos popping off though constantly. And wow. Lowrider. Rather die on my feet than live on my knees. You've got that right, my brother. You've got that right. Much love. I can't thank you enough, man. Hold steady, everyone. I'm not giving up. Every time I see Cats Like Low Rider in like Kev Bar and chat, like it always makes me think of wanting to have another get together and meet up with like-minded people, you guys, one more time before it all goes down. Because things look so sketch, for real. You just never know. So I wasn't able to put together a get together or a conference for this year. So my aim is going to be for 2027. And the way things are going and looking for 2028, we better. I'll talk more about that here in a minute. If you didn't see the last video, all the signs are there. Crown jewels in the house. That's Fire to Flame. In the house, much love. Again, much love to everybody out there. But a thank you to the guy that made that site. Little sites like that are cool, and it's worth bookmarking. So, rapid fire earthquakes. They start going off again in Nevada. Now, we've got multiple things going on here in Nevada. We've got an area outside of Carson City, just to the east, that is like tearing apart. So I put that in the title of the video. Maybe some people think it's, I don't know what they think. It's not true or something. I don't know, but it's real. The crust is ripping apart slowly in this whole area, this whole region. It's known, and there's not much you can do about it. The question is what's really going on here? What's causing it? Is it plates pulling apart? If so, at the heart of it should be a fault of some sort, fault line system, or it's just going to rip the earth open. Oddly enough, they just came out yesterday and they said they found huge fissures in the Pacific Ocean, in the ocean floor, which I'm going to tell you, there's cities down there. There's stuff that's going to blow your mind. And before it's checkout time, like, I'm going to try and prove all that. If we can't prove some of these other things, there's some things we can prove if people just get out and do it. But like satellite imagery clearly shows you that there's stuff going on the ocean floors all over the place. I'm talking like crazy interesting stuff. They blur out a lot, but they're not perfect. They forget. And we've got a ton of things that are out there that are worth exploring. Anyhow, the earthquakes in Nevada are, I don't know, it's the third. It ranks number 3 here, looking at the list in terms of earthquake activity, behind California and Alaska. So it's picked up a lot of activity. They just seen a 5.2 in this area. They end the whole conversation by saying it could be magma, it could be volcanic also underneath. And that's like, oh, well. And it's true, because everything east of it takes you into Yellowstone, which I'm going to touch on here in just a second. Oddly enough, I just put a warning out about this here recently, that there can be an eruption of sorts at Yellowstone. And it's not going to be an empty the whole chamber type of an event. We're not due for that yet. But what can happen is these pockets of what they call mush magma, they form in columns above the main pocket, and then anytime one could go. And a lot of times they're associated with these vents and these pools that you see around places like Yellowstone, which are active. The vents and the pools, they explode, which I'm going to show you here in a second. But southeast of this rapid fire new earthquake swarm, which is getting bigger, again, over 5 in magnitude. I've seen 5.2 with my own eyes. You have another swarm, a mystery swarm. But this swarm is very shallow in nature, and it's coming It's coming in east of Area 51. This is an area that we know is a testing zone. We've caught it before. So I'm going to zoom in here. You see the area around Carson City Pier, it's swarming. Now, you got a big one. You have a swarm that's ongoing with an earthquake getting here within the past hour. There's over 20 quakes there now. When you get over 5 and you start getting constant activity, like it can rip the earth apart. 6s or 7s are going to be felt all over. I mean, Reno, Carson City already felt this. Let me know in the comment section if you guys are feeling any of this activity. Somebody says, LOL, it's snowing here in Chicago. Haha. Man, have fun with that. Like, it's freezing in Chicago. How many of y'all are in Chicago? Shelly. Wow. I know, because it's gonna dip down to like 40 tonight. Here, I'm in Appalachia, Eastern Kentucky, so I can only imagine if you're up there by the Great Lakes. Yeah, 8 degrees cooler, freezing for sure. At this point, it sucks. Everyone's ready for like full-blown spring, bring on summer. All right, but north of Vegas is another swarm. As I said, you can see here, this is out here near Area 51. To the south and east of it. If you guys felt any of that, let me know. I'll finish this up with an alert. Much love, Javen Neville. An alert for the West Coast. Yeah, you might as well say this is for all of America. Like, what would happen if 2 of the biggest faults out there went off at the same time? It's roughly the same time. One like affected and triggered the other, even though they were far apart. And thank you, Grey Wolf, for the coffees. I'm talking about, let's start with California's San Andreas, the Bay Area, okay? And this isn't even going into, like, they don't even touch on the Cascadia in this article here. The Cascadia will run from Eureka, basically north of the bay, all the way out into the ocean, off the coastline, and run off the coastline all the way up toward like British Columbia. The Cascadia has its own apocalyptic warnings that when it pops off, it's going to send a tsunami wave into the whole region that everyone should be prepared for. And like, it's been known. I reported on it for a long time. I just find it hard to believe that if either the Cascadia comes unzipped or the San Andreas comes unzipped, that it's not going to affect the other one. You've got the Juan de Fuca plate there off the coast as well that plays large in all this. But when it comes to this new study, this is new stuff. Okay, so if you guys live in California and you haven't heard about this, this is like the newest information, the newest reports and research they just did. They did 50 different simulations here. And they ran them in terms of the Hayward Fault popping, which is a 74-mile-long fault line that's part of the massive San Andreas fault system. And it's capable of producing a 7-pointer or greater. Now, the last time such a quake erupted along the Hayward itself was 1868. That you had the 1906 quake that hit in San Francisco. And these are different events, they're very close by. But the San Andreas, man, it runs right down through this whole area. But what they're saying is, with these scenarios, they're noticing that the 3D simulation is showing that there's massive shaking that is increased 50% stronger than older predictions. And that's pretty startling. It's a big jump, 50%. Uncommon, much love. Thank you, brother. There's specific areas in this, not just saying, oh, the Bay Area and California, but they say no, they specifically see these increases in several populated areas, including the cities of, and this is where people should pay attention, Livermore, Oakland, Berkeley, Hayward, San Leandro, Emeryville, and Alameda. Those areas will see a 50%, like that's what they're saying, 50% stronger than what they, I guess, because things can see in tighter, a little bit deeper, and actually get better results with information, technology. So this is the newest. And they say that once, one of these faults breaks in one direction, it can set off a trigger. So yeah, domino effect again. You just don't, you never know. But these studies are the things that I like to update on because, it's the most update scientific stuff that you're going to get to back. And you can see here kind of the crosshair on what they're saying here with the shaking in the whole area, Bay Area. A good article on Daily Mail over here you can check out. And I'll update as more info, but what can you do? It's overdue. I'll say this. They calculate that this Hayward zone that last erupted specifically in 1868, it erupts every 95 to 183 years. That means it's overdue. It's overdue. You see it right here. It says it right here on the screen. It's overdue for an earthquake that caused extensive damage in such a dense population zone. We are overdue. Okay? Let this sink in. You're overdue in an area that didn't see nothing like this in terms of population back then. Sin, thank you for the coffees. Someone, thank you for the coffees. Everybody, I appreciate it to the fullest. So the Hayward Fault in California, the San Francisco Bay Area, it's home to nearly 8 million people right now, alone. Now, if this was to come undone like the movie shows, very similar, multiple fault lines start coming unzipped. Dude, man. Of course, it's a movie, and it shows catastrophic damage in the movie. But I couldn't imagine some of these cities that sit near the bay, they get inundated with water after the quake hits. Similar to Fukushima, minus, you make it a nuke stuff around, but you get smashed by the earthquake, and then moments later, here comes a wall of water. LA is very susceptible here as well. They say that LA, they expect, so it's not just the Bay Area. They expect a 7.0 or greater to also be generated out of the Los Angeles area. Yep. And I thought they said it right here somewhere. Oh, higher than that. The most recent prediction from USGS says that there could be a 7.8 on the San Andreas, originating right in Los Angeles, a city of 3.8 million people. So you want to talk about the big one, California? There you go. Latest updates. Millions of people would be affected, and it's overdue is my thing. It's why I cover all this stuff. I just want people to be aware, have a plan, and you're not out of the woods if you're like over here in the Midwest, because let me remind you, the New Madrid fault, it's overdue. So last time that it went off, it rang church bells in Boston, and it made the Ohio Mississippi River flow backwards. If it happened today, if it happened right now, tomorrow, every single bridge along the Mississippi would just come on unzipped, gone, crushed. It would be the biggest disaster that this country's ever seen. Um, you wouldn't have to blame it on no one else. Maybe you could point your finger at the government somehow, some way, but it would be such decimation, logged as a natural disaster, that you would need nothing else. It would submit this country. It would cripple us. It would definitely throw us into reset mode. Um, those things you can't. I mean, they're known for popping fault lines. They can do this. It looks like they did the one on Japan at Fukushima. But you know, I don't know. Um, that would be a cataclysm of epic proportions. Now we're going to talk about a cataclysm here in a little bit. Here in just a bit. That's just. It's kind of mind blowing. And it ties in with the missing scientist, one that's dead, and her messages and her emails, and what probably got her killed. Um, amongst maybe some other things. We're going to be diving into that. Here's the Yellowstone stuff. Yellowstone's Black Diamond Pool erupted. And don't have a video clip. D.Y. shared a video clip with me earlier, but it was an eruption. It went off, and it reminded me of the mush magma plumes that go up. This is minimal, you know, an eruption of any sort that's going to cause any kind of problems is going to be one that is going to be pretty large scale. I mean, I'm not talking a full chamber, but I'm talking something that like is like billowing up into the sky at least. It's going to cause some local aviation problems, this and that. Something similar to what a normal volcano would do. I'm again not super volcano level. Although, I mean, you never know with these things. You just never know. Let's hope. Let's hope that we don't see that. I definitely don't want to see Yellowstone erupt in my time, in my day. I'll pass on that one, but I don't want to be like Woody Harrelson out there at the end of in that movie, screaming like, "Let's go, baby!" No, I'll pass on that. All right, let's go to a discovery in Appalachia, and I cover these things so everyone is in the know. If you've seen something on this beforehand, good for you. But you're not everyone. And if I had the attitude, then I just never would share anything with anyone. But this is getting out there, making rounds. I say that a smart ass hop in the comments. Oh, this is old. Like, this isn't brand new. Like, it's just now getting attention, and we're going to talk about it. Like, oh, well, like, you seem disgruntled. But they found this massive lithium load in Appalachia. Power 100 million, 130 million EV. Why they talk about EV specifically, I don't know, because this can power like it, but they go in that direction. Makes you wonder how long they're going to try and drag out this whole war. If it goes into the summer and gas prices go bananas and all this other stuff, well, that means they're pushing hard scale, like full court press, this whole initiative, pushing people toward EVs, like planned. This is just going along with it. And even if they did know about this, yeah, timing is interesting here. Like, why are they talking about it now? If they've known about this for like a year or so. Well, a lot of this is in the Carolinas. Most of it is in Maine, New Hampshire, and Vermont. So you got land up there, property. You may want to have someone come out, maybe do a little bit of check-in. You may have some lithium on the property. You never know what you've got underneath your feet, let me tell you. I'll tell you this, if you see BlackRock anywhere in your neck of the woods buying up property, all you got to do is go to these sites that show you. It shows you the property owners' names and stuff. Um, like on X Hunt, you can go to that site, pay for it, and go on and get all the details of all the property owners. You can see who owns all these chunks of land, and you can see BlackRock is on there, buying up large swaths. I know because I've caught them. I've seen them doing it in my neck of the woods. Here, I can, but what it shows you, I can't stop them. All I can do is speak about it and put light on it. And why would they be buying it? There's something valuable there. So that's a silver lining, is that, well, you may not have the money and all this to have guys come through and scan your whole property and look with satellite imagery to tell you if you got lithium deposits in your property. Like, you don't have that, but BlackRock does. And if they bought up this large swath of land, guarantee you it's got something on it. And if it's like close to yours, it can be kind of ominous, but it can also be very telling that there's something in the neck of the wood you're sitting on. You feel me? And where I'm at, I mean, coal is abundant. Seen a guy today was talking about it. Old coal country here, everything else. Some people holding on hopes that Trump is going to revive some things because Obama kind of decimated coal country, but I don't see Trump doing anything. They're selling a ton. The government is to China and everyone else, but still haven't changed it for the people. If the people could sell coal like it used to be, and coal country was set up like it used to be, this country would rebound. At least that portion of it. In these old country roads that had old gas stations that then fell apart, everything would spring back to life. It's the only way it's possible. It's the only way it's going to happen. Put a resuscitator, man. Like, bring it back to life, because if not, it's dead. It's gone forever. So he talks about all this reset, but how far? And once Trump's out of here, a Newsom or whoever gets in there next is going to have all this other agenda. And if it's from the other side, they're going to take it the other way. I don't know. And they could push, if the other side gets in there, they could go full court push on EVs and stuff like that. You never know. You have to dive in and look real close already at what Gavin Newsom's already trying to spew. That'd be a good indicator where they're taking this. And I would say he is their man. Look no further than what Europe's doing. Europe is courting him, like paying for dinners and all this stuff for him when he's over there, taking him out. And it's like, okay. So they see, showing right there, like, this is the man they're trying to cozy up to. It's going to be taken over after Trump. It's kind of what they're showing me. I watch all the posturing. I watch all this stuff. So OPEC just signaled a historic gold tailwind. Now, I don't know. They start talking about the petrodollar and dollar cracking and all this and gold, and it that always ties in here. Other countries ditching the dollar and buying gold, that fuels it. But we rig the markets. We rig the price. JP Morgan Chase does, largely, especially for the West. We've seen that as the last big influx happened here, as gold took a huge spike and silver followed it all the way up to like 120. But it got capped. It got capped, and they brought it down. You can see here now, silver sitting in the 70 range, gold 46.29. There's a couple things that can happen here. If at some point Iran, this whole thing comes to a real deal truce, something like that, you could see gold pull back. Anything where there's a strong dollar indicator, any move that way, you could see gold pull back. But if bombs drop harder than they ever have, and it goes the other way, markets are going to flip, and Gold could pick back up with the trend we've seen before of running hard. It could break back above 5, and if we stay in a war setting, it could drive and stay above 5. I don't know where they're going to go with this whole war thing. I find it hard to believe here. Well, one thing is for sure, Trump seems to be lacking an exit plan. They definitely look like some fools right now, in the way that they're handling this whole thing. I'll get to that here in a minute, but hey, $70 is 75, around $75 is $25 discount under $100. I'm gonna go ahead and throw it out there. Don't sleep on it. When silver runs past 100 again, it clips 120 and then sets highs and just takes off, which is going to. These are the windows that you pick up when no one's talking about it, when it's boring. These are the windows when you snatch up a few ounces. Yeah. You out there, tacos? Because if tacos around with that, hit him up. Search around. I've asked buddies in different states, man, that have gone to their local shops, and it surprised me. Different states, like the premiums are just crazy in some states compared to others. In one state, it was like it was like a $12 to $15 premium, and in another state, it was just like $3 to $4. And I was like, that's well, I'm all over that. I'm kind of waiting for a $60 range, but you may not get it. But I don't have the funds to spend on it anyway. But yeah, $50, buy all day long. Silver hits 50, is going out and getting a loan. Only investment, because it'll pay for itself pretty quick here. Gas. A good reflection of where things sit. California gas tops $6. And man, I got people sending me images, sending me stuff like shots of the diesel price, all this stuff, what they're paying at their pump. National average today, $4.30. I've seen it. I've seen it right around there all day. California apparently going to lead away. That's 87 octane we're going with there. I mean, if you're putting 90, 93 in there, like some people do and have to, you're paying way more than that. You're already up there at 5 range. Because it used to be at the gas stations, there used to be, I know there's a lot of used to be's, but it used to be, there'd be like a 5-10 cent difference between the 87, 90 and 93. But like now these days, man, there's huge jumps, man, like 20, 30, 40, 50 cent jumps. Like it's like crazy. I'm telling you, I've noticed I've been caught in it. It depends on the gas station. Different gas stations out there, man. They're running low on fuel. They'll kick the pump on super slow, and you'll be trying to get $20 in gas for like 20 freaking minutes. Literally. Not an in and out thing within 5 minutes like normal. Like literally. They put them on super slow pump. It's annoying. It really ticks me off. But that's when you kind of know something's going on. And I heard this earlier. A guy was prepared to pay more money, but he was like, no, you can't pay more money. We can't raise prices. See, you're just not going to get the gas. We're not going to pay the premium to get it shipped here and this and that until everything pulls back. Plus, when it's just not coming, it's not coming. You're like, what? Like, look, man, who knows what's about to happen? They get the Straits of Hormuz blocked. Trump does. And this whole thing's rigged. They are rigging this. The whole rest of the world is hurting right now, rationing, doing all types of stuff. Trump don't care. Everybody here is just in their own little world. Their little world is about to get rocked. I'm telling you. Okay, guess why this is being propped up? They were strategic in this sense, militarily. They went in and they snatched up Venezuela. Not only gold, I'd say, but their black gold, the oil. And that helps to insulate all of this right now. It says it there. It helps insulate us from the energy crisis. So they use that. They're using that, getting constant shipments to come in to make sure that we can stay at around the zone while the rest of the world is hurting right now. I am telling you, it's bad. They're all like, dude, please just give it up. Like, quit. Like, and Trump's like, no, and just he's squeezing everyone. And dude, this is why the guy's approval numbers, they're trashed. They're the worst ever in history. He's got the worst approval numbers ever of any president at this point, they said today, which is crazy. Like, he don't care, okay? The U.S. national debt surpasses over 100% of the GDP with no reduction in sight. Talk about a bubble that's going to pop at any time. You're talking federal debt held by the public reaches 31.3 trillion with a T. Just exceeding the annual GDP of 31.2 trillion. It's like official, like we're that bad in the hole, but now more than your GDP can even cover, period. Like it's like done. It's been done. Who be kidding? It's just being propped up as far as I can tell. It's a worthless dollar. U.S. mortgage debt hits 13 trillion. The average household owes nearly $109,000. The most splendid bubbles in America. You've got all kinds of different articles out there right now talking about this because the rates are ridiculous. Most people are out there praying, hoping that this war gets in there and pulls back rates the first time around and like opens this thing up, opens up some kind of window, some relief for people, Americans out there in this department. So mortgage rates can come down and they can actually take out loans and like get houses and kind of take this the other way. It's the only way it's going to work, or it's all going to fall apart. Like, there's got to be a rebound somewhere. They have to at least attempt it. In the meantime, they list 33 cities that are, and there's their number, that are feeling it right now, getting hit hard. New York, Chicago, Philly, Minneapolis, Omaha. I read an article earlier on Florida itself, on all the homes out there, people having to cut. It's cut. Everyone's cutting on prices to get the sell to go. Because right now it's what they call a buyer's market. When you've got so many sellers out there looking to sell, they're forced to have to make these moves to cut, and it plays into a buyer. So this is big time. And anyone that has cash fluid out there, it's huge right now. It's a huge advantage for a cash fluid buyer right now, especially if you don't have to go through a bank, get out a huge loan with, and all that. It's a huge opportunity for them, because you're not going to see buy prices like this all the time, so to speak. At some point, it should rebound. But we'll see here. Trump's taking a wrecking ball to everything. And then AI is coming in from the other side. We're closed in, getting crushed. Kind of like Star Wars when in a trash compactor. So Meta buys robots because they want them in your home. It's not enough to have the refrigerator listening to everything. And, all that stuff and sensors everywhere and all AI built into it. No, they want the robot, like walking around the house, doing things. And you see this with Kim Kardashian. You already see this with others out there that are flaunting it and pushing it like it's a thing to do. They're not going to stop here. Of course, I think, all kinds of companies going to keep pushing this. They're going to outlaw, obviously, all the Chinese versions from entering the US, as they're doing with all the electronics and things like that. But what do you do about all the Chinese stuff that's already embedded? Like, you better find a way to replace it. Like all of our cranes at our ports. Yeah, we're screwed when China decides to hack into them, which they can, and shut them down, which they can, if they want to play nasty. They've discovered this, and there's nothing that our government or our country can do right now because no one else produces them. So how are you going to screw yourself like that? Find out something like that, and like not instantly try to do something to fix it. They just said, what? You're just going to sit there until the Chinese get pissed off enough and they just hit a button and our cranes don't work? Then there's nothing getting into the country. Period. At all. You can't even get the shipping containers off the ships to get unloaded. That's a huge problem. You talk about stifling at times, some cyber attacks, doing some stuff like they could screw us up in so many ways. It ain't even funny right now. Okay, so here's more on AI. Caterpillar seeing a boom in its stock, and it's because they're seeing a bunch of people buy these supercharged generators that incorporate apparently AI. I could see them using these things in their bunkers for all the rich that can afford them. Average consumer is not going to be able to afford them. AI used here with a robot that dives 1.5 miles down. It maps a French shipwreck with 86,000 images, and it recovers artifacts. See, these are some of the good things, the cool things that robots and technology can do for the good guys, out there to do things like this. But it never helps either way. Like, if they're doing it, and like, who knows what they found? They could lie to us about what they found. Like, we need to be doing these expeditions largely. Same thing. They find giants, they find anything else. They're never going to tell the public. It's going to take someone legendary to go out here and pull off some of these things and say, I don't care what they say to the world, and be legendary. It's just that simple. Because once the cat's out of the bag, there ain't no putting it back in it. So, but I feel that something like that has to be done here sooner than later, because they're going to clamp down. I feel like after the big event, the beast is going to clamp down. You're not going to be able to get information like you do now. You're not going to be able to get information at your fingertips. You're just not, unless you are you're on the beast system. And even then, it's going to be heavily censored and manipulated. We live in a rare time. And we have in a window here. Yeah, there's censorship, but not fully. Not as if you could see as bad as it could get, you'd see that this is lax compared to as bad as it could get. Well, you're just not going to get any information on anything. Like in ancient, any of the old school stuff that you can see YouTube videos on right now, all that will be erased at a point. It's no different than burning books. Do you understand? To control history and everything else. We have a hard time figuring out what happened in the past 1,000 freaking years. A couple thousand, let alone, you argue hundreds. You want to talk about Tartaria and the cover-up globally and everything going on like it's such a lie. Everything is. Here's one in terms of the markets. It shows you where things are sitting. Some people shocked. In terms of the GDP, this GDP altogether for this country, 75% in the first quarter was all due to AI. Yep. But here, the pendulum swings the other way. Here comes the cancellations on data centers. And a victory for the people in any of these areas. You can see here, Brookfield Compass pulls out from major North Virginia data center project, and it keeps happening. And let's hope that it keeps happening more and more and more and more. Stopping these data centers. It's all about the people in these communities stepping up and saying, hey, we ain't having it. And AI meets the hardware crunch as power equipment market eyes $65 billion boom. They say that our electric grid can't keep up with all this. So something's got, well, what's going to happen then? They got to redo it. They got to redo it. When you redo something, what do? You pull up to a site where a hotel's at and you're like, oh, we want to put in a big casino here. What do? They tear down the old to put up a new. I can't help but think that if a lights out event happened right now, it'd play right into their hand anyway, because they're set up there at a point. They're showing us at a point where they're ready to implement everything with a new grid. Money set aside for it, plans set aside for all this. It's like we're missing an event to tear it down. Planned implosion, if you will. And I thought that this last one here on AI was interesting. The Trump administration says that they're fighting Anthropic's plan to expand Mythos AI because it could cause a doomsday if it fails or falls into the wrong hands. Like, what are you even doing, man? Like, you remember it was last year, a couple of years now, before they even launched all the AI stuff full scale, Elon and them warned, like, look, we're going to delay this 6 months because once this goes, there's no turning back. And they delayed it 6 months, and we've surpassed all this crap. And I just seen some crap where Sam Altman was saying something about they're right there with AGI. And when AGI is like officially in concrete across the board implemented, it's different than the AI we've been dealing with. It's a whole new level. It's a whole different level. It's where it is the pure thinking, cognitive thinking apparatus of the Jinn from the other side bleeding through in all aspects at the highest degree. You can never control that. You can never control that because they're free. They have a free will. The Jinn do. They can do whatever they choose, so to speak. From, they're limited. They have limitations. They're not in the physical, but from the spiritual realm, God said He gave them the power to torment us and to tempt us all of our days. So they're here. That's the problem I've got with all this is there's multiple things here opening the door for the Jinn, for the spirit, an entity, a real live entity. Think conscious being entity. Okay. One is AI. It's like a Frankenstein that you allow this consciousness to attach to and like speak through, to operate through. It's where all this blackmail and all this crap that was never taught comes from. It's just it can pull anything from ether at any point. Okay. From any one of its buddies from the other side. Okay. That's how it does this constantly. And there's no stopping that when it's ran this way. You can't stop that. You can act like you can, but you can't. You can try to convince it and try to plead with it and do all these things, but man, you're messing with demons. You're messing with the Jinn. And here's the other part. You have Greer coming out talking about disclosure this, disclosure that, and saying that they are operating black sites where they're crossbreeding the fallen with humans. Okay? That is so explosive of a statement. It's insane because That is what got this place flooded and wiped out. The fallen crossbreeding with humans, and they bore the Nephilim. And let me tell you, if they are doing what Greer is saying, and they are breeding the Nephilim, then you have, by DNA code, and this is important, you have created the Avatar again and brought back to life the Avatar of the Jinn. And the Jinn are sitting on the other side in the spirit form because they can't carnate in. The structure to all this, if you don't know, that's why bloodlines are so important. And if you have a brand new bloodline like reinvented here, like from Gilgamesh or whoever, of the Nephilim, you are giving them an avenue to come back in, to animate. You're giving them a carcass to animate again. And because they're DNA, their soul and DNA, every bit of it is designed that way. It's how they originally functioned. Okay, but you wiped them out, but you didn't wipe the spirit out. The spirit of the Jinn are still here. 9/10 of them were put in the abyss. 1/10 were left to torment us. Okay, so don't forget that. That is left tormenting us, you deal with it on a daily basis. I always think of the key. An angel was let loose with the key to the abyss and the bottomless shaft. And in that, when he goes down and unlocks it, the abyss, these locusts are released. Okay? It sounds a whole lot like, what did they tell us they took to the abyss and locked there to begin with? The Jinn. So we know this. And they would be released in the end, for a short time, right? So, look, we got some craziness to come here. Things are put in the Bible and these things like in parables and allegory. But, like, it really signifies a real event. Could you imagine if the evil on this planet was like ratcheted up times 10 in an instant? The release. That's what that represents. And I don't know. This place is so bad. I don't think the people can handle it. Abaddon. Yes. The Destroyer. And everyone over there talking about Trump and that image tonight, which was fake. Apparently he didn't put it out of him in the Statue of Liberty giving birth to a baby. Well, the Statue of Liberty is Lucifer. It's clear as day. I put the image out tonight. It's clear as day. It's known. It's who it represents. You're Satan, you're Lucifer, however. And he has even got a chain around his ankle showing you exactly who he is. Because they have to show you. All right, this may surprise you. And I'm going to play this because it's the end of an era. I think it's important that we stay, up to speed with where we're at. Things come and go, people come and go, people live and die. Eras change. And even though this guy right here has not been at the top of my friendlies list at all ever throughout these years, I told you about InfoWars before. I've talked about it. I've talked about a lot of the people that's worked there, the people that I've encountered over the years running the streets, different interviews, the different staged events, the different everything that comes with this. No doubt about it. Alex Jones and InfoWars were, love him or hate him, a staple in terms of the truth circles, whether people call him gatekeeper or not. Even in gatekeeping, there was there's always so much. Even as a gatekeeper out there, as he would be pushing all of his product on people and controlling information, he's still got to drop X amount of truth on the people. Like even if you're chilling out there, he's got to maintain any bit of credibility. So he's got to drop juicy stories, which is where all the made up stuff comes in. But then, like for instance, what I'm getting as like a Bohemian Grove, where a lot of this started. That's staged, man. Crap, garbage, juicy, really interesting. Bohemian Grove real, yes, but it's like half truths. Okay, but like all of it was staged, and like he was put into a position, into a spot, and allowed to do certain things, speak on certain things, connections. His backings from Stratford, which are right around the corner financially, and everything else. All the things that we would call out and they would try to deny, but are real. Were real the whole time. And I mean, most of it just spoke for itself. You know, out there showing male vitality, every stream, and this, that under the sun. Well, you living in mansions, driving Hellcats, and all this stuff, and like someone in that position could have done, like, tried to have gone to war, like really waged war with the beast. Yet, like, I ain't never seen him try to do that. Like, I see him just keep on trying to plug his stuff, and just. But along the way, he was crucial in getting certain information out there to higher levels. With some things, I will say, Shandy Hook was a huge thing out there that he took the fall for. He's taking the fall for, and it's knocked him out of here. That one event, lone event, hung on him, pinned on him, on his head, and all this, everything that they did to him. $1 billion in damages, like insane. How does he even got a house still? How does he got anything still? But he does. So these are the questions I always ask, obvious ones, because you and me would be on the street with nothing. But not him. He's still got everything. He's still in the studio tonight saying goodbyes and got all the TVs. Like, we would have had to have sold everything in there, every cable, everything to survive, right? Like, not him. He's still cush. It's like, it makes no sense. Anyhow, like, this is the end. And through all the people that I've seen throughout all the years, you know, come and go through here, like, this is it. There'll be no more referencing over there anyone that we've seen, like Owen Schroyer that recently left, like Jakari from back in the day, like David Knight that left. A lot of these people had their own disputes and got their own little story to tell about Alex. All of them personally, it seems. Everyone that was cut away, right? Joe Rambo Biggs, like all of them. Only one that I know personally is still there, because like everyone's left, is Rob Dew. And he's behind in the camera room most of the time. And I always give Rob Dew props because he's always showed me respect. I mean, this life is like that. I mean, you should respect me, I respect you. There's other cats out there that just won't even look at you. Like Alex. If I was standing right there next to Alex, someone would be like, Dub, Joe Biggs, Rob Dew, his whole freaking crew would be like, Dabu, and shake my hand. He'd look the other way, Alex, and would not acknowledge me. He'd do me like Tim Pool do me. They run with the same energy. You know? And I did nothing but like extend the hand, trying to be like, you know, whatever, just try to introduce, and nah. It's always, okay. It's this. I've learned this because I've experienced it. Instead of sitting at home on my ass, I got up and I went out and I ran the streets. I made that decision a long time ago. Ferguson was really the big one. And ever since then, you know, leaving the house and actually going to these places and these events and getting a taste for it sometimes gives you a taste of reality. And you get to see that things aren't what they always seem to be. You sit back at home and report on these stories, but like when you're on the ground, like I was watching busloads of people show up and they all had scripts and they're all going on cue what they were saying. And dude, man, that's not real. That's not real. That's like manufactured events and they're happening all over constantly. And that's not real, man. And you realize this when you get out there. There's a lot of characters that do this, just for their clicks, just for whatever. And I'm like, why? Like, I mean, there's enough to cover out here that you don't have to make stuff up. Like, just grow some balls and get out here and join us when BLM's burning the city down, and like actually get on the front lines. Actually run the streets. Don't hide behind the yellow tape over there in the mainstream media section like some bitches. Huh? Run the street. Huh? Because that's what we do. That's where the real come in and earn them stripes. And all the cats I've met over the years, you know who you are out there from all the different cities, man. They're the ones that run them streets, you know, with me side by side. Same ones get pepper sprayed, same ones that get maced, same ones that get hit with all the chemicals, get attacked by the cops when you're not the enemy. It's another thing I've learned out there, just how hostile the boys in blue can be toward everyday citizens. Because that's all I am. I'm not BLM. I'm just a reporter out there. And I've had more guns shoved in my face and all this other stuff by law enforcement just working the front lines. It's ridiculous. It's sickening. It's disgusting. It's pathetic. It's what it is. And that's the truth from someone that's lived it. They have hit me with more chemicals than anyone in this world. It pisses me off. It's probably what's wrong with me now, to be honest with you. To be straight up honest with you. Because they can't figure it out. And it's leaning in this direction. Finally asking these questions. What do you do? Well, and I brought it up this last time. All the chemicals that the scuff rats hit me with, and they stared at me like, man. All but saying like they might have got you. I swear to you. Jeez, wait. My revenge will be sweet and legendary. And I want her soul. I can't say nothing else. So I'm just gonna play this. You can go down in the books as actually doing something out there and being real when it's all said and done. Or you go down in the books as being a show. Take a pick. Which way you gonna cut it? I could have jumped on this bandwagon and done this crap along in the very beginning. You could have sold out. You have a choice. You could sell out, be a show, or you take the real path, the truth path. And when you take the real truth path, every show you see burns you up because you know what they are. You know what they're doing. You see right through them. But that's the life of real truth, though. I guess. Here is the end of Alex Jones, though. I'll play this. The celebration again. Just gonna play it because it is a moment in time. You'll never see of it again. It's like it's gone. You'll never see it referenced. You're never gonna see any clips. You're never gonna see him sitting here. You're never gonna see it again. It's gone. It'll be gone. Now it's hard for me to believe that they don't just make up another name and go to another building in someone else's name and why would you tell me why you would not do that? Why would you not usher everyone to go over to this brand new place that's not in your name, so to speak? It'd be in your buddy's name. Called Info Wars 2 or anything like that. And just usher everybody to go over here and just step outside, walk to the next building, into the new studio, and continue the show. Like, why would you just let it die? There's nothing. They can't stop you from doing that. They could not stop him from doing that. They couldn't. They could not. Do you understand what I'm saying? Why would you just lay down? If you're the real deal, the show must go on. Doesn't matter. Like, Again, walk into the next studio paid for by somebody else. It has nothing to do with you. You're allowed to go on and speak on any of these places. It's not in your name. Nothing like that. Like, makes no sense. But what, since it's not in your name, you don't have full control of it, you're not going to do it? Is that much of a power freak? Like, doesn't make any sense. Was it about you? Was it about the mission? Was it about the truth? Seems it was all about you.
What's going on? Like 10 people just ran into my studio. There's a big giant party going on here? Oh, they want to have a toast. All right. I know this is going to happen. Before we turn this over to Mr. Rentz, my point is that this has been beyond epic, and this has been 100% organic and real. You know, whenever they sued us, they would always ask everybody, who gives the orders? Who's the foundation people? Because they were all getting the orders. Guess what? My orders come from God, from my genetics, from who I am for humanity. And that's what they can't stand, is your orders come from God. And remember, the devil's biggest trick is not that he doesn't exist. It's the second best trick. It's that good doesn't exist. You know, watching and listening, that you are overall good. You want good. You're not perfect, but you want good and you love God. So I tell you now, your destiny is in your hands. And so they think they're going to have their big victory. They think it's all funny. They think it's all cool. No, this is the beginning of the end. We don't ride on Trump. He rode it on our train. He was useful as far as he went. But humanity is unstoppable if we get in alignment with God. So go to Christ, pray to Christ, ask for God to atone you and to rebuild you and to lead God and direct you, and we will win. So I'm going to hand the baton for the next 30 minutes to our guest here, Tom Renz. Then Jay Dyer's going to take over. And then we're going to air hours of all the Sandy Hook documentation that was run by the CIA and the feds. And then we're not here anymore because they're turning the power off at midnight. Private detectives are coming in to close the doors. And they're going to act like they've got their big-ass victory. But notice the state court just blocked the little rat confessed Satanist from coming in to wear our skin for months while we launched our operation. We're going to sue them for civil rights. We got whistleblowers. We've only begun to fight. But it's only because you buy the products at thealexjonestore.com that we're able to do this. They keep asking,
it's only because you buy the products.
Who's the deep state? Who's the deep money? It's you. You are the deep money. You are the reason. And here's the great part. Our new owners, our new people, I have full control as news director. Everything I want, host, everything. They're ready. And I will sit there and live in a modest house with a modest car, which I love. And they think, oh, we'll take your money, Joan. Shut up. I'm ready to die for this. You think taking money from me does something? It makes me want to strangle you spiritually. It's a joke. It empowers me. And so now you've got all the people and the network that's launching that we're going to hire all these hosts, all this stuff, who are ready with all the people who know to sue your ass back. We don't just take lawsuits. We sue you and we win and we have your whistleblowers. We have you. You've walked into our trap because we don't start fights, but we finish them. And that, I'm telling you, it's all glory to God. I never bluff, folks. If you knew what we had, the whistleblowers, the documents, we have royal flushes. They are screwed to the moon. And all glory goes to Jesus Christ and our Heavenly Father that leads, guides, and directs us. We commit ourselves to God in this holy fight, and we are committed. And if God stands with us, who can stand against us? And that's how I close out. So I salute you all. What a crew. The hell we've been through has only made us stronger. Let me ask you, would you have it any other way? No. Are you not stronger now in this fight? Yeah.
All right, they cut to the camera room, and that was Rob Dew right there in that chair that did that, because he controls all this. This is what he does, his job, back here in the camera room. That's him, and they're cheersing. I'm going to say this. You heard what he just said, partners. Apparently, it sounds like they've got something set up. Notice they got the Alex Jones Store set up.com, alexjonestore.com. They definitely have to have some kind of plan here. And where he's going with this, and he's not just going to sit there with his mouth shut. It's like the show's going to go on in some form or some fashion. But you heard what he just said. He said that they're going to sue them and that they're going to win this. Now, I questioned the whole thing, the suit that they had against him to begin with. his rights of freedom of speech, and this and that, and in terms of information, which we all know was just wiped out. Anything pertaining to the subject, they hit and they took out. Anything, any video that I did on it, anything, they headhunted, and I don't know. This is just a defining time and moment. Maybe they win a court case. Maybe they come back. Maybe they really don't go much anywhere and they just switch up names. I think you'll see that rather quickly if that's the case. But I don't think that this is the end of Alex Jones and them. I just don't. I just don't see it. You guys got me wondering, and I'm just gonna I'm thinking, I'm just gonna reach out to Rob Dew because he's always been one to just holler right back at me, and to say, hey, what are you doing now? Like, if this whole thing's done, like, got a job? Like, I mean, I find it hard to believe you're all just gonna sit there idle. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know. Well, I guess we'll see. But as far as it goes, it's over for InfoWars come midnight. So on to this next one. We got a major victory for gun owners. The ATF unleashes the 34 rule reform package and the brace rule is dead. So it's in what they can only describe as being one of the biggest single-day victories for Second Amendment advocates and gun rights people out there in decades. The DOJ and the Bureau of Alcohol, Tobacco, and Firearms and Explosives dropped a bomb yesterday, a landmark package of 34 regulatory actions designed to slash red tape, repeal overreaches, modernize outdated rules, and refocus the agency on actual criminals and stuff like that instead of Americans. Well, I guess if it's positive, you got to take your wins where you get them. Here, we're going to jump to some political stuff, and I'm going to play Trump here real quick. Okay, ripping into this. Ilhan Omar.
To further stop Medicare and Medicaid from being looted by criminals and thugs, we've launched a war on fraud. You've been watching it in the papers. We're all over Minnesota, California, all over the place. They're taking down hundreds and hundreds and even thousands of people a week and a day. It's led by great Vice President J.D. Vance. He's doing a great job. I said, J.D., I want that job. I want to do it as president. They said, you better, let's do a little delegation, please. But J.D.'s done a great job. Thousands and thousands of people are, it's a fraud. I mean, look at the wonderful country. It's a beautiful country. You should try it sometime. Somalia, it's a beautiful place. It's got no government. It's got no military. It's got no anything. It's got one thing that's really strong, crime. It's got a lot of crime. They have no police. All they do is run around shooting each other. It's filthy dirty, disgusting dirty. It's a horrible place. They come here, and Ilhan Omar, you ever hear of her? She heads it. And think of it. They have nothing but crime, poverty, pollution. Everything is horrible over there. Nothing good. They say it's the worst country anywhere in the world, that we got some beauties out there, but it's the worst. And then she comes here from Somalia, and she tells us how to run the United States of America. She says, the Constitution gives me certain rights. And I demand that I be given these rights. Get the hell out. What a phony. And then she married a brother to come in. I don't know, you're not. But I would imagine they're looking at her. I have nothing to do with it. I would imagine. Of course I have nothing to do. I have nothing, but I believe she married her brother, which is totally illegal. Although it's a lovely couple, actually, but it's a little bit on the illegal side. Darling, I love you very much. Good night, brother. Let's go to bed.
What the?
Isn't she despicable? I can't stand watching her. I can't stand. Did you see last month, she accidentally checked the wrong box. It said she was worth $38 million. And law enforcement came after her for that. And then all of a sudden, she was worth less than $80,000. And she said it was accounting. It was an accounting error. That was not a very good accountant, was it? Huh? No, their whole life is based on fraud and a scam. The whole thing is a scam, and we ought to get those people the hell out of our country.
Yeah, so jump to this next one here. This is just interesting what Scott Jennings does here. That apparently goes off, play this clip, and give some thoughts. And Geraldo's on set. I've met him in the flesh.
I mean, honestly, they have been at war with us for 47
We
years.
all know that Scott Jennings is more than happy to defend a war with a country that starts with the letters IRA that we are currently failing, that is going to put us trillions and trillions of dollars more in debt. I was only a few years old while you were in the administration defending prior endless wars. Now this war is failing.
8 weeks is endless to you?
Okay, you said it was going to be
Is
4
that
to 6 weeks.
You have the
Wait a
attention
minute,
span
dude.
of a gnat? Is that
Homie,
what you
I
have?
debated you on
Okay.
TV 4 to 6 weeks ago, and you said we were weeks away from it. Now you're making condescending remarks because you can't defend the fact that this war is not going your way. Wait, one more time.
Not
Can you
going your
name
way.
one political
Get your
concession.
fucking hand out of my
Name one
face
political
first.
concession.
Whoa, guys,
Honestly, I'm
excuse
not
me.
going
Hold
to
on,
have
hold
this
on.
guy's hand
Everybody,
in my face.
everybody, hang tight,
Honestly.
okay? No, everybody calm down, okay? We're having a debate. You can respond to the points that he's making.
Can you name a political concession that we've got?
We're
I just had a flashback to the war the skinheads had in my studio.
I would be mad if I
Okay.
had to defend wars too. I would be mad if I had to defend
we have a-
wars.
we have a very-
Scott, you can respond.
We have
and
a
then
very
we'll move on.
simple. We have a very simple goal: to keep terrorists and a terrorist regime from having a nuclear weapon that can threaten the United States, our interests in the region, our allies in Europe, anybody else
So
in
you
the
can't
world.
answer the question. Thank
That
you.
is
I
our
would get
goal.
mad too.
All right, we're going to leave it there, guys.
Yeah, so when the F-bombs start to fly, I guess things are getting pretty heated. Here's an update. We've got the House approving a bill to end the DHS shutdown. So we've been in shutdown this whole time. That opens the door to get attacked. You know, when your Department of Homeland Security's down, it's not good. They're sending the measure to Trump. I expect him to sign it. And that shutdown should be over. Interesting that they got their third assassination attempt on Trump squeezed out of it right before. And they're trying to pull Comey into another indictment here. I don't know what they're trying to do with the circus here, but once he gets to court, we'll take a look at it and we'll see exactly what's happening there with the charges. So we've got an update that I want to play here from the White House correspondent dinner shooting. The third assassination attempt, they say, on Trump, which is garbage. If you don't know, the clip of him running down the hallway and holding a sign or a pizza box, that was all AI, and that was rendered and made by someone after the official stuff was put out. The official stuff didn't show any of that, any of the AI glitches. It was just crappy footage. But as you're going to see right here in this angle, there's some things that just are not right. Look, when you have a security man come through the area, I mean, you got a cop right there on you and brings a freaking dog into the room that you're in. I got major problems with that. like major. Well, as you're about to see, this is the suspect walking in. I guess he's holding the shotgun or whatever close to him. Or he's holding the top of it, and he's got the rest under his jacket. I'm not sure. He's got his hand up high. You can see there, back and forth. This one hit play. And watch. I mean, right behind him. I mean, the dog is right behind him. Like they were walking right behind him. Like they were following him. They're right behind him. It's right behind him. The dog hit on him. And this guy's like, oh no, calls the dog off. I want to know what was said right there. Are you kidding me? Dude, that guy screwed up bad. Somebody else was in the room. They stuck their head out.
Once the gossip.
I want to know who else was in the room. They stuck their head out right there. They stuck their head out and looked. It's a black man, look like a shaved head. Oh boy, a ton of questions right there. So there was like multiple people around. One was a cop with a dog. You just seen it, and they were on him. I gotta know what was said there. Like that was it was what you seen. Ridiculous, if you ask me. Ridiculous. Dog hit on him and like, all right, we're gonna go to you know what? I'm going to pull this off the side. The big story here. And I'm just going to go ahead and knock out a handful of these smaller stories real quick. And then we're going to get to the big one and we'll spend some time on that with the Greys, this atmospheric cataclysm, all that. First, a very important warning with all the crap going on out there. The U.S. has put a huge alert out for Americans abroad and in the U.K. specifically here. The terror level has been raised to severe. There's been a stabbing attack, and apparently they're saying they expect more. So, they say the terrorist name here, Isa Soleiman, from Somalia. You heard Trump over there just, ripping that area. The national threat level increases to severe, which means that a terrorist attack is considered highly likely. Okay, so Keir Starmer came out and gave a speech. I'm not going to play that. I'll spare you. This guy is calling for zero immigration in the whole place. And I mean, some of the stuff speaks for itself.
Net zero immigration is the phrase more and more British people are using because, rightfully, they're sick to death of mass migration and the devastating impact it's had on our country.
One nation experiment in open borders.
Okay, I'm not playing Stormer, but you see, people are pissed. Let's jump to Hezbollah. Cheap fiber optic drones are becoming their key weapon. And it's going to be the big weapon here in America. You mark my words. Remember sitting here listening to Underground late at night. And we talked about the stuff of these drones. They're being weaponized and rolled out right in front of you. They're showing you how they're trying to counter them. There's different levels, different things going on out there in the midst of this. But just the cheapest regular drones that you can get your hands on that don't need anything but a fiber optic cable. Most people not hip to this, not understanding the importance of this, what's going on here. This makes it when you can run these fibers and these cables and these drones, you can keep them in the sky for a lot longer, and you can hit targets at crazy ranges. What's nuts though is if you go and you look at the battlefield in Ukraine, it's almost like a spider has been on a spider web. It's wild looking. So many drones are ran like this, all fiber optics, that the fiber optics are just, once the drone goes and crashes or does its thing or whatever, it just falls and it's strafed over the area wherever it falls. So when you've got thousands beyond thousands of these drones at this point, tens of thousands doing this, the images are pretty crazy. That to show some of the areas that's completely covered. Drones, man, super deadly. Every day I watch clips. Let's see what this one shows.
Yo!
They're getting to where they hit way hard. Look, it's a small little mushroom cloud that thing just let off. Oh, well, it's not like a small little. That'll clear the block right there at ground level. And that's one drone. That's one drone. That's why they're so deadly and so lethal. They go in, one of these little inexpensive drones could take out a tank. I watch it all day. It takes out snipers. It takes out all types of stuff. These drones, man, they're a threat. And the biggest threat are the ones that are called the Shahed style, because they're the cheapest and they're the most accurate. They're the ones right here that you see. They have a triangular shape. We've pointed out before. Iran uses them en masse. Hold on 1 second. My YouTube page crashed and died on me. Had to get a refresh there on that real quick. Get a mic check. Hopefully everything's good. But these drones are a problem. And our government realizes this. You would have thought they would have realized this a long time ago. But no, they didn't. Right now, they say they've come up with a low-cost solution against one-way attack drones, which are basically missiles with wings is what they are. And they be guided a little bit easier than just, something that's fired off of like an RPG or something. They can be guided. That's these type of drones. These type of drones, these Shaheds, they come in, again, like a missile. They see the target, they lock in on it, and they basically dive bomb them. There is no loitering, okay? The loitering doesn't happen. These things don't loiter, although it probably could do circles around the area, but that would make it susceptible to getting shot down. These things are known for being able to pick up a target with today's technology on a really good camera off the tip of it. They could see way, like miles and miles and miles ahead, the target. And it's going to go in for that target. And it's going to get down low, about 20 feet off the ground, like right above telephone lines, anything like that. And it's going to fly in low, almost undetected. And it's just going to dive bomb right on to its target. I watched the video, and see, they broadcast the video of every flight right up till they explode on the target. And then they share like there's another one. While they do this, they've got Phantom, like DJI Phantoms, the kind I would fly. It has 4 propellers. They've got them sitting up in the sky, watching and recording all this, watching from a distance these attacks, and they keep them up in the sky longer, like I said, off these tethers. Look, man, the only way you survive in these other countries right now is to build a cage around whatever you're out in. And let me tell you, people are going to have to adapt here in this country. Like, you will have to do the same thing. Like, once this starts to pop off, you'll see in Ukraine, there's whole sectors, corridors where they've just gotten wise. because they still want to be able to drive regular cars and all this other stuff. They've just gone around all their main roadway to like where the street lights are, about that height, and around all of them, they're putting netting up. It's just one big thing of netting that's up and around all of it, like kind of tubes of netting that are around all the roadways. And it's that or you get blown away. The only other option is to have, structures up on your tanks or up on your vehicles that are going to intercept the impact, but that doesn't always work. This is a problem, and it's going to continue to be one. Americans are sleeping on because they just haven't even seen or tasted war yet at all, in my opinion. While this country's falling apart and people are suffering, the U.S. quietly pledges $100 million to repair Chernobyl over there in Ukraine. It's like, dude, what? I'm sure you could have took that $100 million, split it up between a lot of cities out there that need help, but no, I'm talking here in America because it's falling apart. Trump trying to prove a point here, pulling troops out of Germany and like signaling that he's going to really pull out of the whole NATO thing. Also saying that they may deploy hypersonic missiles against Iran. Why wouldn't they? If this thing goes down again, why would they not rain down with everything they got, the baddest of the baddest? Why would you mess around? And you risk getting Israel wiped out, your ally wiped out in that sense, militarily, if you don't have a good plan. I feel like that's what they're doing right now. The Iron Dome is just not doing it. What they've shown me thus far is they have no real good defensive measure against hypersonics. Hypersonics were slipping in, and they lit up Israel pretty good. They hit them harder than what they were expecting. I tell you that. Then you've seen Israel roll out the lasers. Now all the talk is laser, laser, laser. I can almost bet that when they go to bomb Iran this time, that when hypersonics come flying back, they're going to have a lot of these laser batteries set up. I've seen it. I've seen them talking about moving them around, and the laser batteries are they got a better chance, their lasers, of hitting the hypersonic. It may not be. The problem with that is sometimes, if you don't get it out there at distance, these things are hypersonic. They're getting at the target quick. Sometimes these explosions are happening like right before the laser battery, like hundreds of yards, and like if it's a big bomb, it could potentially, if that blast radius there, still wipe out the laser. So it's a crazy game here. You're witnessing them switch up the weapons in real time. Like they're upgrading like a full scale right now. And on the battlefield in Ukraine, it's the big test. It's all drones, like I told you. And as I showed in the last one, all arsenal of brand new robots are being rolled out in Ukraine. It's because they're having to kidnap people and all this crap. So they're rolling stuff out. The robots that are in water, they got wheels, and that walk with guns. So happening is a dynamic is changing there in terms of robots on the battlefield. You got to watch for that, because when they release them on us, people are screwed. I said it before. What happens when you take a weaponized Optimus, which is Terminator, and you release it, just a couple Terminators on a neighborhood? They're screwed. The neighborhood's not even going to be able to stop a couple of them. It's going to be devastating. You could release a dozen in a full-blown big city, and they would just wipe out the whole city. A dozen. It's insane. With drone backup, tied in AI, being able to see from the sky and all this other stuff, and like you did just decimate and wipe out everybody. Like, it would be horrific. It would be absolutely horrific. So horrific that people don't even want to fathom it. But it's possible right now. I can't help but think that they ain't done something crazy like this in some innocent city somewhere. They sending robots to battle everybody, and like in Africa somewhere, and these guys had to pick up the guns, try to battle back, and like not stand a chance against even with guns. Wouldn't stand a chance. You just get wiped out. One test run, they'd be like, "Oh boy," like I mean, what's gonna stop them? Like I said before, you better have a tank, a dozer, bulldozer, heavy equipment, something to hit one of these things and park on top of it. Is all I could think of. I'm telling you right now, this isn't fantasy, dude. This is real deal survival. And people in the future, they're going to be scraping for information like this. This is just to survive, to not get hunted by drones, to be seen. You wonder why people in the past went underground? Because of all this. Once everything takes a turn like this, you can't survive above ground. They can see you with drones and satellites anywhere you're at. They can see the gold you've hidden, your ammunition you've got hidden, your guns, everything in your property. They can see it all down like 10 feet deep. Like you can't, unless you're embedded deep into the bottom of a mountain in a bunker and you've spent like a decade, you've had millions to do it, like you don't stand a chance. That's the truth of it. They can see through it all, man. And people need to quit cowering anyway and just stand up and ride. I don't know. We have a defining moment coming at us, but my heart really feels like it's going to be too late, like a lights out situation. Everyone's going to try to come together in the street the first week. But like after the first week, people start turning, it turns on, the whole thing goes bad. It's too late. Like they put us in the dark. You have no resources to even survive alone, go round up the bad guys. In that aspect, they will win. They win. Because the way to do it is to get them now. Oh, wait, get them now. You got a ton on them. You got all the dirt in the world on them. They're sick pedos. Rapid kill. But ain't nobody, even the guys that took an oath to defend this place against threats foreign and domestic, ain't got the balls to stand up to it. Because trust me, you'll see on the news day once it's F it and gets up and rides. All right? We're in the belly of the beast. And there's no denying that. So I feel like we're going to get attacked big time. There's going to be blowback from all this. I don't see how you do all this, and there's none. Iran's, I don't even know how you say his name there, Galibaf, tells the Iranians to unify. And remember, they've had the internet shut down for weeks now. So the people that are pissed and they're in the dark about all this stuff, he's saying the people need to unify as a U.S. blockade seeks to make them collapse from within. So U.S. media largely saying whatever they want. And Trump every day like, oh, we won. But like it continues. Again, Trump tried to say we won. Iran came out and said, oh, no, you ain't. Like, we ain't agreed to nothing. And they drop out a proposition. And Trump rejects it. So it's right here. Trump rejects Iran's proposal as it won't give up its nuclear program. If they're not going to give up the nuclear program, then this is what this has all been about. WMDs again. What do you think is about to happen? I think, like, you better get ready for war, for real, and the repercussions of it. I think this ain't going away, even if they're faking it. It almost seems like a head fake maybe being thrown up right here. in some ways, because the U.S. is kind of making some moves here that could look like one thing, but actually be another. Now, look here, inflation, nearly 70% inflation has hit inside of Iran. Mass layoffs, strangled economy. They say it's a test of endurance. So the U.S. is hoping that the people will crack there. They're hoping with the CIA ops on the ground, all this stuff, they're hoping that this time around they have enough sway to turn the people against the government. But it looks like they're failing to do so miserably. Trump has an issue with Congress. Once you get to a 60-day mark, you have to have like their approval, which they apparently have, but he tries to say he uses these loopholes. He's trying to say that the ceasefire terminated hostilities. So he doesn't need authorization anymore. That's what he's arguing. And he could drop bombs at any moment now, anytime. And no one needs to approve nothing. He sounds like Obama, but let me tell you, Obama was saying those things and did it with no approval. And then when they killed Gaddafi, and anything ever happened to Obama? Heck no. He didn't never get no trouble. He did what they wanted. And I'll never forget, they watched in a war room. They watched him kill Gaddafi in real time, like from satellite and drones and all that. And they'll do the same here. They'll do the same in all this. They're watching in real time. That's what I think Trump's getting addicted to it. He's in a war room watching these things and the strikes and everything else. And he's definitely on a mad power trip. And can you imagine when the lights go out in this country? And they're all in their bunkers. It actually happens. Trump's in there. They're on NORAD. All this stuff. Like, what do you think they're doing? They're all at that point glued to the big screens, and grabbing their popcorn. I'm not kidding you. It's sick. It's what they'll be doing, and it'd be like the grand show because they knew all this was coming. The whole plan: everybody kill themselves. That's what they'll say out there. Like, you might as well, like, everyone's gonna kill each other, basically. 3 weeks, 4 weeks go by with the lights out in this country. It's exactly what happened. I'll be honest. I hate the fact they telegraphed this. Over and over again, and they just did it again. Of an EMP, because an EMP is they just keep doing it. And it's all there. It's all there at this point. Like, they've done so many times. When it happens, it's I don't know what to say. It's like all them other things like that were hidden in the movies that showed you 9/11 was coming, and like you just didn't pay attention to, or you missed until it was too late. And you go back and look, and it was all there. It's like just like Neo's ID in Matrix. You know what I'm saying? All the signs were there. Something huge is going to happen here. And like, if you think about it, stop, because I've spent a lot of time watching simulations and put a lot of time into thinking these things through, like what's going to happen, because you have to if you want to survive it. What happens if you're the bad guy and this is the end game? What's the best way to do it? I would argue that the best way to do it would be probably an EMP. When planned out, when staged and planned out the right way, in the right window. It would take a lot of logistics. But not really. You just have to be prepared as a government, shadow government, whatever. They've got that. They got Cheyenne Mountain. They can move into Cheyenne Mountain, which has been sitting there for freaking years, just waiting and they're good. They're good. They can operate. They can do whatever they want. They can communicate with the world. They got their own entire system and world in there where they can survive inside Cheyenne Mountain. So to me, and you got to put yourself in the shoes of the bad guys that do this. You got to think like the bad guy, which, you got to think like a baddie. Like, what's the best way to kill the most people? The easiest, smoothest way. It's not releasing something, let me tell you. But that, don't get me wrong, they can do that. It's not where we're going with this. Because if I'm sitting here and the guys at the table are like, well, we're just going to hit them with the real deal. Deadly bird flu, wipe out, a 50% kill rate, this and that. And I'm kind of like, what happens if that gets out of control? And then we all know that there's possibilities it can get out of control, just like in movies. So that I slide that back, okay, and like bring me forth something that. And I don't just want to, in this instance, I'm talking about wiping people out, killing people. I'm not just like resetting. If you just want to reset the economy, if that's the goal, something similar to what they could do at any moment with Trump, all you got to do is hold the money hostage. The banks. Cyber attack, glitch, hold the money hostage, dangle out there a new app for the USDT. It's over. Everybody gobbles it up easy. That's that. That's easy. That's getting everybody on. That's insane. But getting everybody onto the new system, a new system, is easy. It's just like I just said it. Just hold the banks, the physical money hostage for a few days. Everybody will jump into the new system. And it's over. Once the majority's on, it's over. It's happened. That's it. That could happen tomorrow. It's going to happen here anytime. But I'm talking about killing America. Like, they want something sinister, like the occult ritual of rituals. How do you get city after city after city to repeatedly kill like everyone start killing each other? You EMP them. And you sit back, prepared. If you're the government and you're the baddies, then you can survive years. You're ready. At least 6 months to a year more, at least bare minimum. So they have years of supplies, years of ready to survive this. And that is how long the government is prepared, because they don't know this is a big experiment. Everyone could be dead in 6 months. So there's no need to stay in bunker for another 2 years, whatever. If that's the case, all you're doing is sending in a cleanup crew. If a majority of the people are dead after 3 months, because that's what simulations show, just go watch. Go look one up. Watch them over and over again. Just after weeks, what happens, let alone months, 3 months. There's not many people left. This whole place reeks of death. And what the guys that were supposed to be your enemies, like Russia and all them guys, they could actually play the card, just play, we're going to send humanitarian aid under the guise of the UN. Chinese, Russian troops, all of them under the guise of the UN. And they come right on in because they're coming in with humanitarian aid. Warm blankets, hot shower at a camp for you. Scary part is, again, if you're the bad guy, this is a dream come true, because any pockets of people that are alive are going to do one of two things. They're going to be the last bit of resistance known out there, they're going to try to fight you, small pockets, or they're going to come diving into your arms, wanting food, wanting shelter, wanting help. And those people can be very dangerous, because those people, if you are one of the last riders out there, the people that plan on surviving this, and like, you know, hostile human forces are coming and bucking at you, and you guys are fighting back, like, you got to watch every straggler, because anyone that goes running into their arms is going to snitch you out. They can snitch out the whole underground. Anyone that gets caught doing that, I don't even need to say it. You already know what's going to happen. So, those would be crazy times. Something like that happens, then I would say, that people could say, you're in tribulation, because you ain't never seen nothing like it. You have never seen horrors like that. But, I digress. That's if you were the baddies and you really wanted to kill everybody here and do it clean for you, where you didn't have to worry about all you guys getting infected with some crap and this and that, and you could send in actual just cleanup teams, man. I just said how easy it is. It's scary how easy that can be. It's just every man for himself out here in that window. And imagine this. Imagine you're someone that survived this and you're out there on your land. You had some people come up in the mix, and you had to you had to hold your own, but you're alive. And like all of a sudden these groups are coming through, the UN's coming through. What do you do then? Because now it's game time. It's everything you ever planned for. What do you do? Like, you better hope you have some ammunition left. You better hope something, because they're going to be coming in hard. Do you understand? With everything. With drones in the air on you and everything. What the good people going to do, dude? I'm just laying it out to you. Simple. Basic. When this place becomes an all-out war zone, which is the insane part, is it has the feel that Trump's going to turn this place out before it's over. It's going to become that. They brought the war to us. And look, you could be, I ain't going to name and call out any country out there specifically, but you could be like some other countries out there and be docile and lay down when the enemy runs up in you and pay the price, or you can fight back. You can stand. You make a stand. Someone's going to have to somewhere. Again, imagine everything I just told you, and you are someone that has a huge gun safe, got a lot of property, got food stacked up, and you think you're good. You're going to ride this whole thing out. What are you going to do against the UN when they roll up? I don't want to hear, we'll deal with that when it happens. Well, you have no plan. You don't. We get old fast and shoot out what? What else can it be? What are you going to do? It's the last stand for so many people that are fractured and fragmented. And you see how easy it's going to be for them? Everyone's going to be isolated. They're just going to pick everyone off in these pockets. There has to be an organization, dude, or people will not stand a chance. And again, if you're above ground, which a lot of people are going to have to be, grow crops, survive, and how you're going to do that? How are you going to survive underground anywhere? Where are you going to go underground? How are you even going to take it out? People ain't got the money to do crap right now. This is what brings me back to the places we discovered the ancients left. The tunnel systems like they found in LA. The abandoned subway places that are in different cities. I know there's one in Cincinnati. Huge underground places that are there that could be utilized. I'd be thinking about them if you got one near you. I talked about a cavern system on the last show, Tennessee. Huge cavern system. In places like that, if you got the means, I doubt anybody out there listening to me. We've got tens of millions that's going to go buy it, but I don't know what's going to happen here, man, but I feel a submission move is going to be made on America. We are sending an aircraft carrier out of Iran. I want to make note of it. It's the Gerald Ford. So we had 3 big aircraft carriers there ready to pound, right? Now one's being pulled out. So is this a head fake? This is the one that took damage, all the issues going on with the septic system. They said that it was sailors that stuffed their shirts in it, and all this other stuff, protesting, and that there was a fire, and all this damage. Well, it's dipping out, so to speak, and we still have 2 aircraft carriers there. We have the George H.W. Bush and Abraham Lincoln, and like 20 other warships in the area. But it could simply be heading toward Cuba or back toward the Caribbean, which is where it was beforehand. I say that because I don't know what's going to happen with Iran. It could be war here any moment. We wake up tomorrow. We're just going to have to wait and see. It really feels, they like to wait till the weekend, right? And like any moment, like I could just go over here and look. I don't see anyone saying anything. So me hit the home page on X, refresh one time, just to see if like fresh missiles are frying. People be frying when the missiles are flying. President Trump says the U.S. will be taking over Cuba almost immediately. That is within the past hour. Okay, now you know where that warship's gone. Now you know where the warship's gone. That's leading report right there within the past hour. That's like, get ready. So Cuba's next. What's the very next one? In charts, Communist Cuba's lights are dim amid a U.S. oil blockade. It's about to go down. So, I don't know I don't know what they're doing. I don't know if they're going to distract with Cuba to pull away from Iran or what, because they have I don't know. I really don't think they're going to do that. I feel like something huge is about to happen with Iran and here. Okay, so, and I'm going to get to the last 2 big ones here, and I'm going to pull up my feed, and we're going to jump into the main story. That is just huge. It's huge. Absolutely huge. First off, the earliest ever Jesus is God inscription is found in Israel, and it reveals secrets, they say, that reshapes biblical history. There's oftentimes so much deception or mythology attached to things, but when they dig things up, it proves that, hey, it's real, right? Well, you can see in this instance, this was an inscription suggesting that Jesus is God. They're saying it's the oldest ever 200 well, it's 1800-year-old mosaic, so that's how old it is. 1800-year-old, which is interesting in terms of going back to even the name with the name Jesus and where that derives from, Greek to Roman, and then switching the name of Yeshua to Jesus, which we all know is done. And I am. Remember, I am that I am. When Moses asked God's name in the burning bush, he said, I am, which is Ahe. Ahe. Asher Ahe. But they will never tell you that. Ahe Fas in Hebrew is I am the light. And now you know. And we're going to go to the missing scientist and where this is all going. And this, I keep saying missing scientist. I even did in the video, but I said one time, she's dead. Amy is dead. R.I.P. Amy. Salutes to you. You're a warrior, a soldier. I know they got you. I'm sorry. I thank you for fighting the fight. Dangerous game. There's no other way around it. And people in a certain position out there are in dangerous positions and they don't even realize what I'm about to show you and dive into is huge. It's explosive. And, you know, with Trump coming out, the interview, they're like, oh, do you think all the missing scientists are connected? He's like, oh, no, we don't think so. It's like, to hell with all the shilling. Like, there's something major going on. It's definitely tied in to a lot of this. And just her and her story alone here, Amy Eskridge, and her warning to friends and family, like so many others, that if anything happens to me, I am not going to take my life. I'm not going to hurt no way. I'm not going to do nothing crazy. All these people had like the same warning to friends and family before they just go missing or they end up dead. And she ended up dead by a gunshot wound, of which she said repeatedly, I would not do, you know. We'll play this clip. If I can get it to go here.
It could be weeks, months, or even years until we know if the cases of the missing dead or missing or dead national security insiders are all connected, all, some, or none of them. It's also possible we may never know as the FBI continues investigating. News outlets, including the one you're watching right now, well, we're doing some digging of our own. In a moment, I'll speak to a retired British paratrooper and intelligence officer who says he was in contact with anti-gravity researcher Amy Eskridge hours before she was found dead. Okay. 34-year-old Amy Eskridge was found dead of a gunshot wound to the head in Huntsville, Alabama in June 2022. Her death was ruled a suicide. But a man named Frank Milburn is adamant that that is not true, that did not happen. She did not kill herself. Now, beyond his credentials as a former British paratrooper, Milburn is well known in the UFO community for his papers on the Pentagon and on UFOs. And tonight he's providing us with what he says is evidence that Amy feared for her life. Milburn says he spoke to Amy just 4 hours before she died and claims that she seemed fine. He also says he texted with her about what she claimed were physical and psychological attacks meant to intimidate her. News Nation has not been able to independently verify the text messages or the pictures that we're about to show you. In this text conversation, it appears Eskridge texted Milburn pictures of her hands, which do seem to be burned or discolored in these photos. She writes, "Burns line up perfectly with the edge of the table as I was typing. Getting hit repeatedly with military-grade sci-fi weapons is pretty tiresome after a while. And others, she tells Milburn not to believe she committed suicide if she ends up dead. This one reads, quote, "I did not shoot myself in my head with my own firearm. I did not overdose on my prescription meds. I did not drive off a cliff." It is worth noting News Nation spoke to Amy's father, and he told us her death was not suspicious, and it is not tied to the other missing scientists and researchers. But when we saw Milburn's story, we decided it was important enough to bring him on the show, ask him some tough questions, and leave it to you, the viewer, to decide. Frank Milburn joins us now.
All right, so they're going to chill and spin it right there, whatever way they want. We're not going to do that. We're going to dive into the big story. I dropped a video, the last one on my channel, and I drop a lot of videos. I cover a lot of information, but I'm going to tell you now, I want you to remember this moment. I want you to remember this video, this conversation, and everything that we're talking about right now. Because time's flying. 2028 is going to be here before you know it. And I am a firm believer we're about to start witnessing big events like anytime. It could be like the banking event. It could be tomorrow. Anything could happen this year. But if it does not, we have a clear window where something massive is going to happen. Okay? And it is 2028. And this isn't the big news. The big news is what I'm about to show you in these messages, in this one specific message. Okay? She had a lot of friends she worked with, and you just heard, like, there's friends that don't believe that she took her own life. They believe that something else happened. That somebody got her. And I mean, you just heard her say, just as anyone would say in a position like that, I'm not going to take my own life. But what does it matter when someone comes and kills you and they say that? What does it matter then? I mean, John McAfee was like screaming the same thing. He got a tattoo on his freaking arm that said whacked to let you know. And he said it repeatedly. I'll never kill myself. They put him in the prison. They abstained him, got him, whacked him. And he told you before, R.I.P., R.I.P., all of them. It's always the same beast that kills all of them. All the time. He kills them all. It's the same beast. There's no question who the enemy is, who the beast is. Question is who's going to get up and ride on it. And always has been. Always will be. So, you ride against the beast, or you cower to it. And some people going to ride, for sure. Everyone's going to have a different way out. Everyone's going to have a different experience here in the end. Every city's going to be different. Everything's going to be... Lockdowns was different for everyone. Every town was different, for instance. So I can only imagine that the next series of events, crises, everyone's going to have it a little different, but still the same thing. You have the same rules draped out over everything. Still mask up, 6 feet apart, for instance. This cataclysm that's coming in 2028, I can't tell you exactly what it's going to be for sure, but I'm going to show you where it's pointing. Okay? I'm going to start with Iran showed us 2028, and they showed us America in the background, and I got it lit up right there. They target Washington, D.C., but that's not what happens. They hit that launch button. They hit that launch button. And the video actually says, but guess what, America? Israel saved the best one for last. It wants to attack you. It saved its last war for you. It's what they say. And that this is Israel hitting the launch button, and one missile comes down from space and it explodes like an EMP over the United States there in the background. All the while, they got the year 2028 screaming at you. Dead center. Dead center. Right there. 2028. And that's a cropped image of a much larger picture, but it's right. I cropped it down just to focus in on this area. I mean, this is the money area, so to speak. There's a lot in that image from that screenshot. There's a lot in everything in that whole video, but they clearly showed us there is a massive event coming in 2028. It's clear. It's right there. Okay? Don't forget it. Shift over to Amy's email. This is where it all begins with her. This is where the whole thing begins with her. Here. And it starts to get deep and crazy. So just grab the popcorn, sit back, relax. Story time begins here, so to speak. It's what it equates to, because it's her telling these stories. It's not to say they're fake. It seems every bit real. It seems like this is what got her killed. And it's absolutely insane. And just right up from Jump Street, one email right here says, I told you that the Cataclysm is coming in 7 years. And this is from an email in 2021. Okay? That would be, she says it. I got it lit up right there. 2028. We've got 2 warnings from 2 different ends of the spectrum coming out of the ether, out of the area around us. Okay? We've got 2 big ones. Okay? She wrote this in freaking 2021, dude. And it's just now because of how the spirit works. Bringing it right in front of me. At the same time that I knew this is how it works with me. It just brought it all together to me here, like here's it, here, dude. Like you can, you know. Shout out to Jay Reacher too. Drop me some links on this. Matter of fact, let me open it up, because from here, open it up in a separate window here. And we're going to pull up some fire. Here we go. Now, this is I'm going to try to get, see if I can zoom in on this a little bit without it going nuts. Probably not. All right. Okay, so this was just kicked out, printed off. But what this on the 29th of April. This is from Frank Milburn, and this is a guy that says that he has, was a good friend of hers. And you just heard, and people saying, look, she was in good spirits up to 4 hours before all this happened. So this is an email message from her to them. Okay? She is one of the missing dead scientists at this point, right? It's all known right now. Well, can you believe that this has been a thing since 2020, since 21? Yeah, 2021, 2022, up till she died. I mean, she was talking about other missing, a long list is what I'm trying to tell you. Not even the list we're looking at now. We're looking at the dead scientist of just currently. She was already talking about missing scientists all the way back then. Dude, this is insanely stupid. How many people are dead and missing? And for Trump to say, oh, I don't think so. Like, yeah. All right, so I'm going to read from this. And the details of it are pretty shocking. And it is what it is. This is her and her knowledge base. And I'm going to tell you now that the government was watching every single email she was sending. And bless her heart, she didn't pick up on it. They were watching. And they seen that she was sharing and saying this. And it spelled the end right there. Come on. Stupid. Ain't stupid here. All right, now I'm gonna blow it up. I hope I can give it just a look there. And I'll slide it up if I have to. Okay. So I'm gonna read this out loud. So everybody, just like I said, take into account this is what Amy was saying to a friend. This is all her account. Much love, everybody out there. Where we at here? 10:22, well past top of the hour. Just much love to everybody out there getting it in and just gonna dump this bit right here. This is super interesting, okay? Starts out, says, my point is that the loudest focus around the UAP topic is currently directed towards the technology of the observed craft, or the UFOs. But that's missing the point. If they are here at all, it's surely for some very good reason that has nothing to do with their propulsion tech. In looking for answers behind this phenomenon, we have focused too much on the effect, the current presence of UAP craft, and not enough on the cause of behind why they might be here. In general, the why behind most intelligent actions usually comes down to some survival-based need. So what survival-based need might these craft have to be here? Listen. Rays are from the future. They evolved after the Cataclysm. And they want to ensure their future exists. Okay? Another earlier faction of travelers would prefer us to all stay the same human by preventing this cataclysm. Okay? But this is why that has generated this whole situation. The atmosphere gets royally fucked up in the future and creates an evolutionary divergence. Some would like this divergence to continue. Others would like to stop it. The cause that generates this divergence is the atmosphere is getting fucked up, and how the chemistry of the new atmosphere interacts with our bodies to cause us to change. That, either happening or not happening, is what matters most to the Greys. And that's an issue of chemistry and biology, not so much physics. Thank you, tripod, so much. I'll check back on that in a second. I'm going to continue here. This is her talking. So the biggest issue is on our minds right now shouldn't necessarily be trying to figure out the technology behind the craft. That's important, but still missing the point. If the Greys had strategic targets that they'd like to travel back in time to stop, it wouldn't necessarily be targets who were in physics. It would more likely be targets who understand climate science and biology and all other critical elements of the cataclysm that caused the Greys to either evolve into themselves or not. The people who might know how to reverse or prevent atmospheric catastrophe or how to harden our bodies against it, those are the people that they would want to go out and target. Whether the cause of the atmospheric cataclysm is caused by an asteroid or something else, it all comes down to the chemistry of what we breathe and how it interacts with our bodies to either evolve the survivors into greys or not. None of which is related to the propulsion tech of the UAPs. That is a secondary distraction. We have, up until now, failed ourselves by super epically missing the point. This is her talking again here in this, okay? This is paragraph by paragraph. Let me continue, because this is wild. This is what she's saying, and I believe this is what got her killed. All this, because she's spilling her guts here into email, which they're watching, no doubt. Every bit of it. Just imagine them seeing her saying this to people. This would have got her killed easy. For real. Listen to what she says. How eerie this is from here. Because she becomes one of them. My local anecdote about dead scientists who were laid off by NASA in the biology department only to be massacred years later is an example of this. She's bringing up the dead scientist right here, okay? She says a timeline war is surely a great example of unconventional warfare. This particular type of unconventional warfare includes future information that allows you to take out targets many years before their individual relevance to the conflict is able to become obvious. Anyone who wants to understand the motivations and objectives of this particular timeline war just needs to toggle or Google dead scientist and figure out what they all have in common. There actually is a great website that has been diligently recording mysterious deaths of scientists going back to cases 20 years ago or longer. And my friend Amy, if you only knew that you would be at the top of that list right now. R.I.P., man. Keep going. She says, plot twist. Most of these dead scientists aren't physicists, although some of them are. But a complete list of mysteriously dead scientists include biologists, climatologist, virologist, chemist, material scientist, agricultural scientist, killed by random drive-by shootings, car exploding, sudden unexplained illnesses that kill them within a matter of days, home entries where nothing is stolen but they end up dead anyway, getting hit by cars they walk down the sidewalk, disappearing and being found dead in the river, act. And they put one in her head. It pisses me off so bad. I'm going to continue. Most of them told someone that they were scared shortly before they died. Just as she did. Of these random events of violence. None of these cases are probable traced back to intentional assassination due to a clean getaway or lack of evidence. Future information certainly helps you figure out how to get away with it, but it seems like scientists tend to die of random acts of violence more often than the general population, and the dead are not all UAP physicists. In fact, most of them aren't. Many of them are people like former NASA biology personnel who become professors at UAH only to get freaking massacred later. Oh my God. Dude, the fact that she knew all this and said this and became a victim of it's just, all right, I'm going to keep going. I got a little bit more here. If you really want to understand the objectives of the timeline more, then you need to figure out which scientists are dying off in the early or mid stages of their careers and why. You can figure it out just by reading their prior papers of these randomly violent dead people and extrapolating where their research may have led to 10 or 20 years in the future if they would have lived. Oh my God, she's spilling it all. You know how these things are. You know a hit when you see one, even if you can't prove it. These deaths that just don't make any sense at all, even in random acts of violence, those seemingly random tragedies that just happen to be occurring over and over and over again with a pretty specific community of study. Oh, man. That is a very large fraction of how the unconventional warfare of this conflict is being carried out. What no one fully recognizes is that we are currently fighting this war massively understaffed. Key personnel have been repeatedly taken out years in advance through this process. And now we are here, understaffed. I want to freaking punch the screen. And now we got to deal with the problems that remain. It pisses me off. R.I.P. Dude, she was a frontline soldier, and she knew every bit of it, and they got her. You know what she says in the other message here that you don't see on screen is to add to this so that you know. These grays, she said it, these grays are eliminating people. They're a problem. Like, I think of her, you know, this whole system. And she says that there's no going into the future. I thought was an interesting comment. There's no going into the future in the time travel. She says it's a no-go. You can't do it the way that it works. You can only go back into the past and try to manipulate. And for those that go back to the past, this is what she was saying. There's no doing all this jumping around and coming back to the future. If they send somebody to the past, that person's there and lives it out from there. There's no bringing them back. It's a one way. It's how she's saying when you're dealing with time travel. That's how she explained it. Okay, so this is wild. Marinate on that. Everything about this cataclysm. There's going to be a cataclysm in our atmosphere, and it's going to happen in 2028. What does an EMP do? It explodes in the atmosphere. In the atmosphere. What other way could you have a disaster in the atmosphere? Besides getting hit with a meteor, like she said, or something. Or some are going to argue maybe volcanic eruption. Blacking, sun out 3 days, all this stuff's going to come up. I feel like there's more. Oh, if millions of people could only get this in the evening news at night. This is deep. Dirty dogs coming back and sniping, and she knew it. She's seen every bit of it. She spoke all of it. She was speaking on she became. She's at the top of the list here now. Like, it pisses me off so bad. And she says that, like, we're left here understaffed. I felt screwed. I feel like it's part of the team that I never had a chance to meet. Get snuffed. Can you imagine if you could met somebody like this in the flesh? The intelligence. I don't care about the danger. Too many people are scared shitless. That's why they never get anything done. Too many people are cowards. Sick of it. Die standing, right? Instead of living on my knees, a coward. I don't know. This one hits hard. Hits hard, man. Her soul wants vindication. Like, this is everything she went. I feel more. Boy, there's more and more. I just keep getting nudged. There's more. There's way more. I might have to go digging deeper. I'm sure we're gonna find some more. But this is huge. Great place to begin. So that you know what's going on. Like, get ready. Huge deception's about to happen. Like, you go on and on and on. It's bad. It's happening though. It's going down. You're within it. It's why they're sniping them. They want to be able to roll this out without this message getting out there to the masses. Well, oh well, let's really come kill me too. Look, the truth is getting out one way or another, and here you go. Remember, this is a timeline where she speaks on here. The grays are real. We've known this. All of this. The byproduct of the fallen here, and everything they're doing. So, wow, let me deep breath on this one, man. We gather some final thoughts on this, because this is I am asking the Holy Spirit to protect all the souls on the other side that need it. Do not let the jinn touch them. If I have a power, let it be. I speak it into existence. If I can do anything for the souls on the other side, I'll speak it from right here. And I'll ask the Most High in heaven to forgive them, to protect them, and not let the jinn touch them. Look, this is a battle from here. It gets deep. And the secrets to this, there's a way out. The secrets they don't want you to know. These aliens, these grays, the aliens, these are part of the fallen. They're part of this whole thing. And I feel massive deception is about to be dropped. We've got a movie about to come out. Spielberg's Disclosure. I think it's going to be key in all this. Just to extrapolate what they hid in it and what they're trying to drop on the masses through it will be interesting. Don't you think? Oh, Mock. sending me a piece of an incoming deadly asteroid. Yeah, man. We end up getting cracked or something like that. Hey, this is something to expand on big time. All this whole atmospheric thing is nothing to forget about. Wake up tomorrow and forget about it. Like we have something huge going to happen in 2028. Let's not take our eye off the ball. And it looks like it's going to be for sure atmospheric. We've got two signs that have aligned, and both of them have shown us the same thing. One actually rebuffed the other one without even saying it. What could happen in the atmosphere? Again, asteroid impact, massive volcanic eruption, opening up the abyss, letting all the chaff out and locusts. I don't know, something, or an explosion of radiation in the air. Take your pick. It's up for debate at this moment, but it's a plausible one. The whole debate is a righteous one because it's going to happen. Something's going to happen here. It seems something is about to happen, massive, and we're on to it. Let's just hope you've got this window of time. Let's just hope. I'm going to tell you, stay getting ready, but enjoy life as well and make the most of every day. Start practicing everything. This life is about walking it out. There's anything I can tell you here in the end. This life is about doing righteous deeds and doing things. If you're not doing anything, you're wasting this. You're wasting the moment. You want to be doing everything good that you can. I feel like it's not sticking when I say it. I don't know. At this point, I guess you either already do this or you don't. You're seeking change out there and you're trying to bring it about in your life. Okay. I'm gonna leave you with this is I'm gonna leave you with the wig splitter. Okay? Are you ready? This may take me a couple minutes here to explain, but this is gonna be deep. But this is how it all goes down. I've told you, and we've discovered through all the biblical transcript that's been stripped from your Bible and hidden, all the pieces of the puzzle come back together. We know how this place works. We know the construct of it. We know that there's a hierarchy of spiritualness, wickedness sitting here that you can't see just out of your visual perception in the dimensions right outside of the 3D realm that we operate in that are testing us. They're here. They're real and they're here. Okay? So you want to get out of the soul trap. Okay? Now, you are a powerful being that can speak and do anything that you want and speak it into existence. You've been given power over the fallen even. But you wouldn't know this. Most people wouldn't know this because they don't read the Bible and they don't even understand this whole thing. But if you do, you'll start to understand that God gave me and you domain over these beings. That's a very special privilege that pissed Lucifer off bad because he refused worship God's creation or to even acknowledge it. When God said, you will bow down to this, and he said no, pissed him off. Because he said he's made of fire. He would not bow down to a subordinate being, saying that man was not as intelligent because we don't know all the things that they know, all the technologies that they've got. They were made in a different way. So because we were stripped of that, dumbed down of those material things, I guess, and knowledge at the time, he's seen us as being dumbed down like monkeys or something and refused. Okay? So this is where the whole clash comes in. Okay? I told you they wiped the place out and the Nephilim become the jinn. Okay? You have, on the other side, you have a hierarchy, which would go through the names another time, but in the legions and all this stuff, but it's there. It's what we always call the jinn, reference the jinn, and you have the archons. Name the archons, which are not the good guys. Okay? These are demon heads, so to speak, that are soul catchers. And they have refined this place to a point where if you are low vibration, low frequency, you are easy pickings to get caught and sent right back through. The only way out of here is to bypass them. You better listen to me clearly. This is the secret. It's all frequency based. You seek a frequency that operates on a plane of the Most High, operates on a level that they cannot operate in. Once you understand the levels of seven heaven, in the domains, you understand that there's boundaries, there's limitation in all of this. And even though you can't see these entities, they are there. And they're given a mission, just as a jinn, to tempt you all the time, to capture any low vibrating soul in this place and not let it escape this so-called soul trap. But if you do what Jesus said, not sit here and sin and hope he's going to come and forgive you for everything, but if you actually do what Jesus said, live the way Jesus said, you can achieve these things because you raise your chrism and you raise your vibration and you find your way past a lower level entity by default, because that's how it works. They operate in a bandwidth, a level. And if you're missing this knowledge, you can't wrap your head around it all, but when it's all there, you see it clearly. Again, they're in a domain right outside of your perception, but it only goes so high. The frequency only goes so high that they can operate in. Everything is trapped within frequency bubbles. Do you understand? And if you want to communicate with something on a higher plane, you have to get on its level. And if you would have stayed dumbed down doing this garbage down here in this lower 3D level and never seek ascension, you would never achieve it. If you want to sit here thinking someone else is coming to save you, passing time every day doing nothing, ain't good. In my book, ain't gonna work. Jesus himself never said that. He never said you sit there on your ass and do nothing. He didn't ask for that. He asked you to get out and perform deeds and to actually go out and do greater things than he. And how? He gave you the secret, same secret I keep trying to give you. He told you to seek the kingdom of God within you. Because that is what you are. And when you awaken to this ancient secret, you become powerful. And you become ungovernable. And you become what they don't want you to be. And you can speak power to anything you want then. And you unlock. Some of us know, but let me tell you, they will kill. Of what I just told you. I will never take my own. Do you understand that? If you seek it, you will find. The tripod. Thank you so much, everyone tonight. Thank you so much for the super chats. Big announcements are coming. Get ready. They get bigger. Started with little breadcrumbs. Now they're about to start doing slices. And then what comes after the slices? The whole loaf. And that's going to be Trump's The Big Deception speech. Again, we got by till 2020. We're running out of time. You know, we're coming up on half of this year. I'm zipped up in the rear view. You know, before you know, it's 2027. And 2028 is the next year. So I think the most trying times we've ever seen are ahead of us. I would really get ready. If you thought things were crazy, you know, lockdowns and all that, get a plan. Ava, thank you for the coffees. And look, man, sometimes these streams get a mother hot because I don't know. Get a mother hot. That's all I can say. And Deanne, thank you so much and for the prayers. Since no one else can heal me, only God can. I'm gonna attempt something here in the offing. So wish me luck for that. I'll be updating as I approach it. I'll appreciate all prayers, especially trying to go through a larger fasting cycle, and it's said, it's written that you can reset the whole system, the whole body, and even you do these things, you can heal yourself. Gonna put some of these things to the test. If nobody else is gonna do it, well, we're gonna give something a shot. Nothing like raising that chrism. Thank you again, everybody, for all the love and support tonight. For the prayers. Gonna take us out of here on some music from Live 1707. And as I always say, if the Lord doesn't return in the coming days, I'll see you here next time for some Underground World News Live. All praise to the Most High. Much love, Joe, Susie Q, Lone Warrior, my brother. Thank you again, everybody out there tonight, for the love. And tripod. DM. Skeevy from earlier. JK805. I missed that one. God bless. Keep going. See if we got anything else here. And Low Rider. It's always much love. Everybody out there, much love. Thank you. God bless. Grey Wolf, Sam, Someone, Ava. Salutes. Purebloods. Salutes. William Price, thank you for the coffees. Coming in big time. Much love, man.